My sister called from England. Well, actually, she left me an audio file, like a voicemail on WhatsApp. She does that a lot. We do that back and forth a lot. She was very upset by an interview I had sent her the link to about Gaza, not at it, about it. She was choking tears to get through her audio file. It was a Norman Finkelstein interview with Katie Halper and Aaron Mate, who call themselves Useful Idiots, the Useful Idiots. Aaron is the son of Gabor Mate, also quite famous. And Katie. Norman Finkelstein, who is tremendously interesting about lots of things and a real go-to on this subject, as he is an expert and a humanist. Now, I have a definition of a humanist. In this context especially, that it is very simply that we humans are all capable of all things good and evil. This may not be the dictionary definition, but it is mine. And I think probably humanist is as distinct, as far as I can tell, and the theme of this piece is really that a humanist, I think, is not a Christian, is not a Jew, is not a Muslim. I don't know about the others enough, but those three, a humanist is not that, for that simple reason. We're all capable of all things good and evil. I listened to my sister, then woke up a bit more and scrolled through the day's YouTubes on the day's events or yesterday's events and what the people like Norman and Katie and Aaron are saying about the events and the news. And I came across a thing that I'd not seen before called Quillette, Quillette. Don't know what that means, like a small quill, I don't know. An interview with one Martin Boudry, Martenboudry, who is a philosopher. A young man, yes, a young man, so he's not one of them old beardy philosophers. The video was entitled, it caught my attention because it was called The Biggest Taboo in Academia, Israel. And I like to study academia. I'm not part of it, but they say things that are really very enlightening or very revealing. They say them with a lot of words, often, but it's worthwhile to get through sometimes. He had his dander up, did Martin, but I didn't know in which direction. So it seems, he says, there is a problem in academia right now with the war genocide going on. A taboo has been modified. He said that people are giving Hamas credibility and meaning. And then he says they're just a death cult who should therefore be eliminated. Yeah, it's an opinion. Because of my previouses on this topic, I immediately asked my phone, my stand-in for Martin, was the community at Masada a death cult? Were the Sakari, were the IRA, were the Iceni of Britain and Boudica, was Chief Pontiac, was Crazy Horse, was Nat Turner, are the IDF? Now, I think I would say yes, they are. They are a death cult. I'm not sure how you can dismiss them, and I'm not sure the last one, the IDF, is not necessary, because I am English and American hybrid, and militaries, for as long as I can think, have never operated as the defense force of occupied peoples, right? So Martin is comfortably convinced that Hamas is a death cult, and he might say the others that I mentioned are too, not the IDF, not the US Marines, not the British Grenadiers. The Zulu in the late 19th century are interesting, on their own land in southern Africa, fighting the Boers and the Brits. They look like a death cult. They're not armed like the colonists. Their attacks are suicidal. Masses of numbers are killed in each engagement, like the cult for sure. But here's the thing. My humanist observes that violence against the Lakota, the Jews of Roman occupation, and the violence of the Jews and the Lakota of the during the occupation against their occupiers look about the same in the end, in the dirt. In the film of Zulu, one side blows bugles, the other side sings. The reasons are probably the same. At the end, the Zulus salute the plucky band of Brits, and that is very moving and noble. I don't know if that actually happened. It will never happen in Palestine. Martin has defined the definition. Hamas is not the IDF, which means that the Palestinians are unlike the Jews. They are a different something. Martin's religious belief or background are not immediately apparent, so maybe his definition of Hamas is not just religious acts. He's not just the other side. He represents in the moment he said what he said about the death cult, an unreligious judgment on the question. He represents very clearly what the West does on the question. The dominant civilization at the moment, the ones with the bigger guns and more bombs, which seems to be how it goes in these matters, it is civilizational. The IDF and the US Marines are not a death cult, though they do in the end kill a lot more people. Look it up, it's historic. And the killing in Gaza at the moment probably needs a new category. So a lot of people say, well, it isn't really genocide. They don't know what to call it, but it's not that bad. And yeah, so how will this all end? Imagine that. How will the revisions go? How will the myths sustain themselves to survive the blow, the facts that we all now know? How will it all be altered quickly by the New York Times? The West all agreed eventually, the Western civilization, Western world, that the Holocaust was a crime of all crimes, though it was a product of Western civilization. And for me, that is absolutely so, a crime of all crimes. Other similar atrocities don't get the same due respect. The German people must have been gripped by temporary insanity. You see, it was not civilizational. There was no relationship between Western civilization and Christianity and the Holocaust. Okay, yeah. I think Martin is trying to tell me that October the 7th was civilizational. It was Islamic. He might even admit that that is what he thinks, but most don't go that far and smile and say, oh, it's a religion of peace, like all religions, which is clearly not true, not one of them. Just look at anything. I'm not a monotheist. I'm not a believer. If I was, I might think that what we do is not as bad as what they do, that at the heart it is good. In the long run, it may be that the reason I'm not a one God believer, not a monoculture chap, is I can't find that in me. I can't make that distinction. I cannot find that they are not all death cults. I'm not condemning Judaism nor Christianity because they are barbaric cults. They are civilization. Everybody says so. There seems to be a Hindu one, a Buddhist one, a Confucian. You get my drift. So logically, since I cannot join them, I must take my place alone at the moment among the uncivilized. By default, I hope you lot sort this out. The death cult notion has no wingspan, no legs. It never did. But it seems to be a cornerstone of civilization. When I said the other day, you civilized lot are boring, I did mean it, but don't take it personally. There's a lot more of you to amuse each other. As Pritzker said, governor of Illinois, in order to survive, you have to be suspicious of everything you are unfamiliar with. In order to be kind, you have to shut down that animal instinct. Empathy and compassion are evolved states of being. They have to be learned in good books, and I don't read.